Kind of stuff, it's a specialty where you can't do it with machinery in some locations. You don't have the access, and so it solves a problem for fisheries managers, fisheries biologists, to be able to get the large wood placed in the stream in places where you don't want to open it up to having some big piece of equipment come in there. Hi, Chuck. All set. The reason for doing horse logging is because of their maneuverability in the forest and their low impact on the soil, on the ground, soil compaction. So in this situation, we have a job that requires a fair amount of force. We need somewhere between 20 and 30,000 pounds of pull to get these trees to tip over, even after the choker has been hung in the tree at a height of 40 to 50 feet, depending on the tree. So we've got that leverage, and we dig out the roots and cut the roots, but it still requires about that much force to pull it over. But this is the rig that is going to enable the horses to pull the tree over. These cables are laced back and forth between a set of pulleys. There's two small pulleys on that end. They're going to pull on this end, and as this tightens up, as it's doing now, the main line is getting 6 pounds of pulling force for every pound that I'm exerting. This one isn't giving us any mechanical advantage, or it's not giving us any multiplier of force. It's just turning the line. Same thing with this little block over here. It's keeping the line suspended so it's not digging into the ground. And it goes down there through one more block and back to the tree we're pulling over. This is called the evener, what the horses are actually going to do the pulling with. And this just balances the pull between the two horses and gives us something to hook the cable into. Right now the line that's attached to the tree is leading off between the hemlock. So it's getting pulled that way, and I've left there's a little root on the back side that's still attached, just because the weight of the limbs is on this side, and I want a little bit to make sure that it goes off that way. I really don't want it to fall back this way and cross up our rigging and mess up our trail. Since we couldn't get equipment up here, we had to come in and hand dig this with the shovels and a pick and expose each root so we can get a saw through there. And I've already made the cuts here on these roots. like that. Okay. The horses are just such willing and yet quiet operators in the woods. They have this tremendous enthusiasm for their work. Just a minute, Ruby. Just a minute. You all set? All right. Ready? Come on, Roma. And the fish biologists want the trees with root wads because they provide such better habitat in the stream, and they also enable the tree to stay put much better when the high water flows come along. Okay. Thank you, Roma. Thank you, Ruby. There you go. We can sneak the horses in single file if we have to, as we did up on this ridge top, and we can carry the cable and rigging in milk crates or on backpacks. So it gives us access to some pretty rugged stretches of creeks and streams that need habitat improvement. So the horses generate 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of pull at the hook. Each horse obviously pulling about half of that. They combine 3,000 to 4,000. If they really dig in, they could go 5 or slightly above. They're pulling off of this end. This set of pulleys gives them a 6-to-1 advantage. So that 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of pull becomes, through this lace-up system, becomes 20,000 to 25,000 pounds of pull out here. So these hooks are rated at 26. We're using 1/2-inch chokers and 9/16 main line, so we have enough capacity in the main line. But the horses are actually only pulling on 1/4-inch cable, and then we use these straps in case we need to use a live tree as a tail hold, or for one of the turning blocks. We'll use these straps to protect the bark on the tree.